Coach's Corner segment with Coach Adam Fossett of the B.B. Comore Tigers. Our guest this morning brought to you by the B.B. Comore Alumni Association. Coach, good morning.
Good morning.
And nice day to talk about high school football on the road tomorrow night. 0 week against Dadeville. We'll get to that shortly. But it was a nice night over at the stadium Friday night for the Fall Jamboree, B.B. Comore and Sylacauga. Your take from that contest?
You always have takeaways from games. As you want to look for positives before you look for negatives, obviously. I thought, especially based on the week of practice we had, very impressed with how we came out. I thought we came out on fire. I thought we, especially that first drive, to be able to go down the field and
over
score.
Half the first quarter you had the football.
Yeah.
On that drive.
Yeah, we really kind of utilized the clock and drove the ball down the field, and especially, the first play, we have a receiver open and Devin kind of short hops it, but we come back from that and drive down the field. So after the first play, we're 2nd and 10, and I'm like, golly, we had a good play call there. We knew that they were going to key on Comore and fake to him and throw a little pass. So kind of the group effort that we had, because we don't have a lot of depth. So to get a good practice in, we've had very little time to go first team all together. Yeah. So you put your first team offense together, well, we don't have a lot of guys to give us a scout team look. So you got to mix in your second team offensive guys with your first team offensive guys and stuff like that. So I was pleased with that. Once we got settled in, we had some letdowns. We had some missed assignments offensively up front. Defensively, there were some times where we did not get set up. We did not get lined up, and because of not getting lined up, we didn't make plays. On the touchdown that they scored, on the little short pass that Bill took down the sideline and scored on, we weren't even lined up. And the sad part is we had 4 guys touch him that never made a tackle. So that's been key this week. We've gotten a lot of extra conditioning in this week because a lot of hands on hips, a lot of guys kind of bent over and didn't have a lot of cramping issues, but we had a lot of guys that were tired, and we only played 2 quarters.
First 2 times you touch a football, you put points on the board. That's impressive.
Yeah, I thought, to score and then get a defensive stop, it was a good opportunity to work on something else. So we shifted in the empty and threw a ball up to Comore, and he goes up and gets it and scores. So to go up 2 scores, that was a good thing for us, obviously, and it was a good practice for us.
Yeah.
Sylacauga comes back and scores and gets a 3 and out and goes ahead and. Then we get the ball back. Well, it becomes good practice for us because now I'm telling my coaches, look, we can milk this clock down and we score with less time on the clock than what they need, and we'll be in good shape. So, and
that's really how it turned out.
Yeah, that's how it turned out, honestly. But we did, as coaches, we saw, hey, we're putting our kids in a position where we really haven't discussed or talked about. So we're telling the quarterback, we're telling Devin, hey, don't snap the ball. Well, Devin's already got my lineman on the line in a stance. Well, any lineman out there like myself knows it's hard to stay in that stance for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, we didn't do a good job with that, but that's something, hey, as coaches, we're like, well, that's something we got to work on. That's something we got to remember to work on. So it was a good checklist for us as coaches, too.
Comore Harris, the guy is grown physically, and he is just a physical specimen, and he can make a difference in football games for the Tigers this season. He's just a junior.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought last year he was really good physically. I thought, man, this kid is different than a lot of kids. But seeing him last Friday, I think he's gotten stronger. He's obviously grown a little bit and gotten bigger. I think the mental aspect of his game has gotten bigger, gotten better. and he's matured in that sense of the game. Like, as coaches, when he was an eighth grader, we would forget, hey, he's just an eighth grader because he was as big as the seniors. So he's matured every year and understands the game more and more every year. And seeing how he's progressed over the summer in our 7-on-7s, just defensively too, I think he's set and staged to have a big year. So he's got to understand the adversity of it. He's got to understand that every team we play has him circled as, you're the guy that we've got to stop. So we've got to be able to utilize him. We also got to be able to utilize our other weapons around us so that we're not one-dimensional and that we're not just dependent on him.
Devin Harvey, the junior quarterback who got the call on Friday night, your thoughts after watching tape on him?
I thought Devin did pretty good. There's still some decision-making things that he's got to work on, and that'll come with time. Last year he came in to get snaps at quarterback, and that's a lot easier role. I'm not the guy, but I'm depended on. Well, now I'm the guy, and I think that role suits him. He's very calm. Like he doesn't show that he's rattled very much. And even like his coaches getting on to him. I was telling somebody the other day that when Devin was young, I had to learn him because his defense mechanism when you got onto him was he would grin. Well, I always thought when he was a young kid, 7th, 8th grade, he's grinning. I'm like, that little joker's being disrespectful. And finally, he's like, Coach, I'm just grinning because I'm nervous because I don't want to mess up, So he will grin. You get onto him, he'll grin a little bit, but he's not laughing. He's just trying to, that's how he copes with things. But he's going to be okay. I want him to be more verbal. I explained that to him in practice a lot. Devin, I need you to be more verbal. You can tell the offense to hurry up. You can tell the left guard to get set. You can, that's your role. So be more verbal with these guys. You're in charge, especially during a game when we're not out there.
The offensive line and this B.B. Comore Tiger team anchored with Blankenship and Carpenter. These are two outstanding young men and football players. Yeah,
they're my go-to guys. Anything that we need, anything the team needs. If the team needs a reality check and I call them and say, hey, look, we're not getting it done. They make sure the team understands that. They kind of get the first shot at getting their attention, and if it doesn't go well, then I get their attention. So off the field, they're two of the best guys that you could ever ask for. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. They're going to be where they're supposed to be. They've helped out a ton over the summer. They've done some community service stuff over the summer and helped out when it was a quick turn. I got a phone call over the summer about some help. They needed some help at Safe to unload some school supplies, and I called them the night before. I'm like, hey, this is what needs to be done. Can you help out? We'll be there. Mm-hmm. So great kids. They've been with me since 8th graders, and they've been together. They've been buddies since kindergarten. So wow. They're literally, they're like brothers. Like it's amazing how much they do together. When they're away from football, they're usually together at some point in time. They'll go eat lunch together. They'll do little side jobs together, do work together over the summer. So good kids. They do anchor that offensive and defensive line, and they've got to be able to continue getting better. Both of them are getting looks at some colleges. Zach's picked up a couple offers from a couple smaller schools. So the sky's the limit for them.
Yeah, successful night for B.B. Comore in the Fall Jamboree with Sylacauga last Friday night. 0 week in Dadeville, and the coaches segment with Dadeville and East Alabama happened a couple of weeks ago, Media Day, and B.B. Comer was called the Pretty Boys. Watch.
And so feel real good about things. Got B.B. Comer, we opened with them week 0, and they got about 6 or 7 of the prettiest looking kids you'll ever see. And they got a running back that's about 6'3", about 245 pounds playing running back. And he's a good player.
For Avante, because Coach mentioned how pretty the running back was for B.B. Comer. You think he's going to be pretty after the game? Play that
Nah, he ain't
linebacker
going to be too pretty. He ain't going to be too pretty.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to set you up for any
Well,
bulletin
B.B.
board.
Comer, the media kind of set them up on that, but they have great respect for B.B. Comer, and I know you guys have great respect for them. 0 week game, always a tough place to play in Dadeville.
Yeah, Dadeville's always a tough place to play. When I was at Chillsburg, they were in our region all 4 years, and had to go down there twice, and just a tough place. So tradition-rich program. They love football down there.
You hadn't seen a lot of them though with tape as far as the spring game or the fall jamboree. Didn't have one.
Yeah, they're a big mystery, as far as just seeing some film. They didn't play in the spring, didn't play in the fall. As far as I know, Friday will be the first live action that they've had other than just practice and competing with each other. So
what does 0 week mean, Coach?
0 weeks one of those non-region deals where you can go in and play a game. Every coach has their own strategy, and I don't know if we've discussed this before or not, but I would either like to have week 5 off in the middle of the season and play 0 through 4 and 6 through 10, or I want week 10 off so that you hope that you're in a situation where you can go watch your next opponent for week 11, which means you're in the playoffs, and that's a good problem to have. So this year we're off week 10, so we're playing non-region week 0 and week 1 before we jump into region play week 2. So Coach McDonald and I had talked. Originally we were on the schedule for a few years back.
Yeah.
We were on the schedule, and some stuff happened. We weren't able to play. I know the storm came through when they were supposed to come here and play, and it was at the end of the season, so the game didn't have to be played. So we continued conversations and sealed the deal for the next 2 years. We'll go there this year, and then next year for week 0 they'll come to us. So obviously, and again, it's coaching strategy as far as your schedule goes. You get to pick your non-region games, and knowing the team that we had and some of the challenges that we may face down the road, I wanted to face a really good team. I wanted to face a quality team. I didn't want to go back to Montgomery Catholic type quality team, but I wanted to face a quality team. I know Dadeville's going to be a tough team. I know they're going to be physical. I know they're going to run the ball right at you, and that's stuff that we need to work on. That's stuff that we need to see for us to get better, especially for region play. So, every game matters. I explained to our guys that when you come back from Dadeville Friday night, you're either going to be 1-0 or 0-1. So they keep score, and the record counts now. So we've got to be ready to go. We've got to be prepared, and we've had a pretty good week of practice. We're keeping an eye on Mother Nature, and that's every coach has their philosophy on that too. We're going to play in the same conditions they're going to play in. So it becomes a psychological game. Who wins psychologically between the ears, and who says, hey, I'm not going to let a little rain bother me. They're playing with a wet football. I'm playing with a wet football. And we're playing on a wet field. So we win that aspect of the game. We come out and play physical. I feel good about how things turn out.
All right, Coach Adam Fossett, head football coach and athletic director of the B.B. Comer Tigers, fresh off a successful fall jamboree against Sylacauga. Now the 0 week against the Dadeville Tigers on the road. Dadeville kick is at 7 o'clock. Coach, we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
More Daybreak coming up right after this.